Welcome, everybody, to the All Bullshit Aside podcast with Mr. Barry 18. This is my co-host, Edie,
Hi, everyone.
and this is episode 3. So today we're going to talk about dating after the healing process, like, the do's and don'ts of dating.
Yes.
And this is just stuff that I myself saw out there in the dating world. So anything I say or did, do different.
Different. Learn from his mistakes. No, I'm just kidding. All right. Well, let's get started. So, David, after your divorce, obviously you were still healing and you went on a few dates that you knew probably weren't going to,
Yes.
go into anything. But after a few dates, did you start, maybe feeling like I'm going to try some dating apps or?
Well, let me tell you how everything started. First of all, after that, I was still kind of thinking there's a possibility that it's just gonna die out with whatever my ex was doing, and maybe I can try to work it out.
You were trying to still have hope.
I know, right?
Okay. No,
Anyway,
I understand.
For a while I was just. This is after the divorce. Wasn't after the traumatic experience after. So after the divorce, I moved out during the pandemic. So obviously, everybody is telling me, do this, do that.
Right.
Everything I loved to do was shut down. I couldn't go to the movies.
Right.
I couldn't go to the shooting range. I couldn't go to the gym. So everything that I loved to do was shut down. So what did I do? I started eating healthy, with my roommate. He started cooking. We started, doing our trying to be healthy.
Right.
He had a situation where he had a surgery, and that prompted him to start having a healthier lifestyle. So we were in it together. It was fun. So then one day I come home from work, and he's, on his phone. And I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm on this dating app. I go, oh, you do that? He said, yeah, it's fun. I go, well, how's it work? You should create a profile. I go, no, I'm not ready for that, man. I can't. Yeah. No, just what's the worst that can happen? You talk to a few females, you have fun, this and that. I'm like, no, it sounds so creepy. No, it's different. I'm like, okay. So he created.
Was it Bumble?
No, it wasn't. It was, I'll tell you exactly what it was. It was Match.com.
Oh, okay.
So, I didn't know nothing about dating apps. Yeah. I was like naive. And he created a profile, this, that, kind of, talking about yourself, what you do, a couple of pictures. And I've never been a guy that likes to take selfies. I'm very weird about that. I'll take a video, or once in a while, obviously I talk on video.
Right.
I make videos. That's different. But so I did this whole profile, and it wasn't bullshit. It was just simple. I have 2 kids. I was married. I do this. I like to do that. My ideal first date, whatever.
What was your ideal first date?
The beach. For some reason, it was going to the beach, lunch by the beach, walk by the beach. Cool. I love the water. I love the beach. Yeah. So did the profile, did everything, paid like, I don't know, $40 for a month. I'll try it out for a month.
The best $40 he's spent.
Yes and no. But
okay,
so,
sorry.
whatever. I left it alone. I remember I started doing something, I think playing video games or something at the time. Next day, I wake up and I look at my phone and I had almost 80 messages. And I'm like, what the hell is this? So I started looking and it was like, what? So I showed it to him. He goes, oh, it's because you're fresh meat. I go, what?
Fresh meat.
Yeah, these women have been seeing all these dudes, and here comes this dude that's 6'2".
They're gonna alert new.
And they're like, what? So I had women from, and on these apps you can put your, what is it? What's like your ideal person, someone that's 5'3" to 5'10",
yes.
and a Hispanic, or and I was like, I've never really been into white women, but I said, let me try it. Maybe that's my, So I did white women and Hispanic, and it was out of hand. And there was people from Arizona, from Bakersfield, from Fresno. Hey, I'm like, wait a minute, they're too far. Like, no. So then I met somebody that was local. She was in Silmar, right? And I'm in Granada Hills. So I started talking to her, chatting for weeks. Yeah. Finally, she gave me her number. We went on the first date, and it was the last date. I was like, what is this? So
wait a minute. What made it one date, one and done? What made
First of all, here I am looking at her profile.
Okay.
Hey, beautiful person, nice pictures. She had kids, everything, a little bit of her background and everything.
Okay.
So I'm thinking that when I'm talking to this person on the phone, it's the same person.
So you never FaceTimed her?
No, I didn't know nothing about this. Okay. I was naive. Trust me, at the end of this process, I was a professional at dating. So
Your dating app?
Oh yeah, I was like the dating app queen. I had 3 apps at one time, and I was just like, yeah, it was fun.
Oh,
It was
okay.
fun because I've never had that kind of attention in my life, and I was like, wait a minute. So I always thought of myself as decent looking, okay, whatever, average.
You're all right.
But yeah, I was all right.
I'm just kidding.
But anyways, yeah. So met this girl and agreed to go to dinner. So I picked her up from her house.
Okay.
The moment she walked out her door, I was like, oh my God. Okay, cool. Let me just still be a gentleman and take her out to you. Maybe, get to know her. Went out to dinner, and this person was not what I expected. Turned into a child. I mean, she turned into a child.
What do you mean?
Like just, I don't like this and I don't like that. I felt like I was one of my kids.
Oh, okay.
And this was a woman that was, close to my age. So, had dinner. Still, I tried. I really tried. I tried to get through it. It was cool.
So it was her personality.
It was her personality.
But it wasn't anything to do with her look?
Her looks were not really. They looked the same.
Oh, okay. Good.
Yeah.
I was going to say.
But, obviously,
some filters.
I learned about filters. Women,
I love
please,
filters
ladies.
on me.
It's okay if you like filters. But once in a while, put a picture on there that, it looks like it's you. Because eventually, if you wind up being with somebody, you're going to see them at their worst. You're going to see them early in the morning and
no makeup.
And it's okay. I've always thought women are beautiful without makeup. You don't have to put on there. But I get it. Women like to get dolled up. Men, we just like to just put on a nice cologne, nice clothes, and we're out.
Right.
But yeah. So, I took her home, dropped her off, and I get a text message about, excuse me, I got about 20 minutes later. So I take it there isn't going to be a second date. And I'm like, yeah, you take it right. Because she knew that I wasn't going to work out. So that was one of my stories. So then whatever, I went back on the app, and then it was constant.
On to the next.
I know.
So as far as like first impression, that really does really matter because again, you can pretend to be somebody over the phone and whatever and filters.
And it wasn't really a physical thing. I didn't mind. You didn't have to be a supermodel, but I was like, you have to be real. I'm gonna meet you eventually. So when I see you, please,
be real.
Be you.
All right.
Yeah.
So that was one.
Yeah.
So when you went back on the other dating apps, or did you meet anybody by friends, or just continue to do the apps?
So my biggest pet peeve was not to date anyone that was related to a friend, to a cousin, to anybody, because I had constant. My friends' wives. I have a friend for you. I have a cousin. No.
Yeah.
So one of my closest friends, I did go out with his cousin. And granted, he made her look like, she's great, this and that. She's got a good job and she blah blah blah. But one of the things that bothered me about her was her drinking.
Oh,
it was too soon, and it was what's the word I'm looking for? It was giving me triggers.
Triggers.
It was triggering me.
Okay.
It was like, I'm trying to have fun with you in my mind, but and every time she would order a drink, I was like, oh my God. And it was just making me feel like this person's going to turn into what I'm used to.
Right.
And I don't want that. So then that was one date, and that it didn't go nowhere. The only bad part was I got to see this person a lot because I was going to family functions. Oh. So I kind of not gave her the cold shoulder, but I kind of made her, made it look like, I'm good. I'm not really interested. As friends.
So you never told her?
I didn't have the heart to.
Oh.
I think if I see her now.
Well, now
I'll say, you know what? You drink too much. Yeah, I mean,
it took
me a while.
Drove her to drink more.
Yeah, it took me a while to not be a savage per se. I don't know if that's a correct word, but like where I just don't give a shit.
Right.
I don't care. I don't care what you think about me. I'm gonna speak the truth. I think people know me now. They see me now. They're like, damn, he's like, yeah, all bullshit aside.
Right.
So then,
but there's a way to say it, but also to be
but it's like,
respectful.
because my friend was like, hey man, how come you don't, because your cousin drinks a lot. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Period. But that was that. Another thing was.
So what about another date, another online?
So I would meet a lot of women on a daily, but I didn't want to be like a scumbag.
Right.
I didn't want to be like, I would just politely, no, I'm sorry, you're too far, or this or that. It's, it was always just, no, I'm not interested.
It's hard. Long distance is
hard.
Yeah.
I couldn't do that. I did date somebody that lived in Bakersfield, and she came out a couple of times, and it just, I wasn't feeling it. I wasn't, like maybe I was overthinking it.
Yeah.
I was overthinking it. That's another thing that I had issues with, overthinking. I was doing these scenarios, thinking like I was living with them already. How would it be to have kids? If this, have that. The ex-husband's jealous. Still, like I don't want to deal with that. So that just kind of created this thing in my head.
Like, you made it, but it's not gonna work.
No. So then I just, on the app you have a radius.
The miles.
So I was like 5 miles from me, and it was all of a sudden I would get somebody that was
next
50
door.
I'm like somebody would be like, hey, we're neighbors, and I would look and wait a minute, you mean you live an hour away? How are we neighbors? A lot of these women I found were dating people from far away. And it might work for some people, but it wasn't going to work for me. I was too busy. My career's here in the valley, and
it's hard.
It was just not something I wanted to do. So I would entertain certain things and see where we'll go, and then first date, second date, done. Yeah. And unfortunately I did meet a lot of females, and it would turn into one night stands sometimes, and it was always mutual. It was always consent. It was like
consensual.
And I didn't want to be that. I got to a point where I had women that were just literally telling me, "Hey, let's hook up," and I was like, "Nah," because I didn't want to have that.
Yeah.
That that I don't know.
So women were throwing themselves at you. Is that what you're trying to say?
I had a lot of females that were like, "I'll take care of you. I'll show you what it's like to be loved." I'm like, "Oh my God!" Like, no, you're
sugar mama.
I was already getting like discouraged. I was getting thrown off. Like, oh, you're like, you're being desperate. No, clingy. I don't like clingy. I like clingy 3-4 months in, not a week. You can't meet me on a Sunday and by Wednesday you're like, hey babe, hey hun. Oh no, you gotta go. No. So I ran into a lot of females that were just either they were single for years, they were ready for a relationship, and I had to explain to them, listen, I just got out of something. I'm not looking for that. And I mean, I'm not looking for sex either. I'm just looking for someone to talk to, hang out. But I wasn't. Anyways, so and things happen, whatever, and eventually I just kind of stayed away from the apps. And then once in a while I'd go back.
Burned out on the apps.
I would go back to a different app, and I would meet somebody, and it was like same thing. It was just small talk, a lot of small talk, and then that's when I finally discovered ghosting. I'm like, hey, this person, I would talk to my friend. Hey, I was talking to this girl for like 2 days, and all of a sudden nothing. He goes, oh, she ghosted you. What do you mean? She ghosted you. I go, what the hell is that? Oh, you don't know about ghosting? No, it's like the new thing. They just literally block you and everything, and it's like
you never existed.
Wow. Yeah. So I was like, all right, cool. Then I did my share of ghosting.
So you started ghosting.
Yeah,
you became the ghost.
Yeah, but it was because a lot of females just couldn't take no for an answer. They were being very persistent, and I didn't like that. And then I would go out and meet somebody, go on another date, and it was like I felt like they were lying. They were just creating this persona
of themselves.
And then when you met them, it's like, wait a minute, you lied. You lied.
Give us an example.
I'll give you an example.
Okay.
So I met a girl. Took a couple of weeks. She finally gave me her number. First date, she shows up. She is not who she looks like. And I'm gonna say it. She was very, very overweight.
Okay.
And on her profile, she looked real thin. So I'm sure she put a picture when she was in high school. And now you're 42, and it's like, really? Like, okay. And I didn't care. It was the way she carried herself. Like the whole date was just her complaining about, like, I don't want to eat this. I don't want to eat that. I shouldn't eat this. I shouldn't eat that. And I'm like, why are you here? Like, why, and I would always be the one to drive to them.
Oh,
just out of, like, I don't want you to drive far. I'll drive to you. Right. I don't know what it is about Downey, California, but there's a lot of that going on out there.
A lot of
I know. A lot of these girls are just like not being real. I would find myself always in Downey, meeting these girls from Downey, or Whittier or East LA. And it was like,
I can relate to,
like, what's
LA
going on
area?
over there? Is there's no men out there? Come on, where are my boys at? But I don't know. I think it's like anything. I think it's like they wanted something fresh. Somebody from a different area. Right. They were tired of the same area.
Well, I'm sure
same thing with me. One thing that a lot of my friends told me: don't date anybody in the valley. And it's like, well, I was never out there to deal with that. Yeah. So for me, it was like, whatever. I think, my relationship now, she's from Echo Park and she lives in the valley now. But it was like, I didn't see that. It was very different with her. But you know, I was putting in so much time and effort for these dates, spending so much money, you know, because my thing was,
can I get a text right off?
oh, I wish I would have, man. I spent a lot of money.
It should be.
So my thing was take them out to a nice restaurant,
Right,
show them a
Wine
good
and
time.
dine.
Yeah, I wasn't. And then my friends were telling me, "You're doing it all wrong. You know, what are you
Happy
doing?" I'm like,
hour.
"Well, I don't know what to do. I don't know what else to do. I don't know any better."
Yeah.
And they're like, "No, take them out to coffee." I go, coffee? Man, they're gonna laugh at me. Sure enough, that started working. Hey,
Yeah.
you know, we can meet at a Starbucks, and if we don't like, you know, because I understand when you're out to dinner, you're forced to be there the whole time, whatever dinner takes,
Right.
whether there's chemistry, you know, or not, you know. But I never had an issue. I always, you know, we went through the whole date, and a lot of these females, they wanted something more serious, right away, and I couldn't do that, you know. I did meet a lot of beautiful people that it was just not meant for us,
Right.
and I did meet a lot of frogs along the way. Yeah,
A lot of
unfortunately.
frogs. That had been, yep. Well, definitely.
Yeah.
You have to get through some to find the one. So
And that's, you know, I started thinking that way. You know what? This is all a life
lesson.
Like, yeah, their experiences. It's something that, you know, there was a time where I was very excited to be out there because I was, you know, locked up for 21 years. And I was like,
You were in
wow.
love.
Yeah, I was in
You
love.
were locked
I
up.
was.
Okay.
But one thing I could tell everybody is do not go on dating apps. There's nothing good there. But I'm not going to lie. I do know some people that met their wives on certain dating apps and they're happy.
Yeah.
So it's just probably.
Be careful.
Yeah.
Just be
Yeah. Because there's a lot of people that are being.
catfish.
Yeah. Or their angle's different.
Yeah.
You know? I had one story I'm going to share. One more story. So I met somebody that totally BS me all the way. You know, just had no plan in life, had nothing. You know, where do you see yourself in 5 years? I don't know. What do you mean? I'm like, oh my God, you're in your 40s and you know, like nothing. No, didn't want to, you know, evolve. But, you know, it wasn't for me. It was like, you know, she was raising a kid that was still gangbanging in his almost 30s. I was like, are you kidding me? I have to deal with this guy. I'm going to fight this guy eventually. It's like, no, that's not for me. So, yeah, I had my share of stories. I met a lot of interesting people. And I met a lot of crazy people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, you know, definitely right now on the online, it's a huge deal.
Yeah.
Especially during the pandemic, a lot of the apps became very popular. But definitely be careful. You know, that's what I'm.
And I'm not saying it's all bad. It might work for some people. It might not work for others. For me, it wasn't for me. I wanted to whatever happened after, it just kind of happened naturally.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, one of your experiences was about, you know, the catfish.
Yeah.
You know, somebody presenting themselves different. I think if anything, a few people that I've met on TikTok and a couple of the guys that have reached out to me because of the podcast, they got catfished, you know, and these men I think they're pretty handsome, pretty bright, but they were also coming out of a long marriage or long-term relationship. And it's these filters. I mean, okay, if you do an enhancement, okay, I understand, right? But he said the whole face was different, the whole body. And the other one was just her face, not so bad, but the whole point of it was she lied. And this friend of mine, he was like, she had a nice body, you know, great personality, but he couldn't forgive the fact that she lied.
Get past that. And
I was like,
so I'm gonna tell you my experience now, because I had so much experience there for a minute, is that I can literally see somebody coming and see if they're dropping red flags. Hey, you drop some flags there. Yeah, I can see it now. I can see it. And the first conversations, it's like, no, I'm good. Yeah. And it's unfortunate because you wake up. You know, especially since I was married and you know, now reflecting on that and looking at everything I missed, like, shit.
Right.
So now you're like standoffish. Now you're like looking around like, no.
You know, I did read something about, they said after you learn and you heal and you learn all these narcissists and red flags and green flags, sometimes it could hurt starting a new relationship because you're like, oh my gosh, is that this and this and that, you know, and then you're overthinking.
But yeah, well, that's the thing. You just get defensive. Right? I got defensive. Yeah. Everybody, nope. You know, I had people tell me, I had one female tell me, I'm never going to forget this. She said, you are unfixable.
Wow.
You're broken. You're unfixable. That told me that she was probably miserable. She had, because I didn't want to jump into this relationship with her right away. And I'm like, wow, who says that? Who says that?
Yeah.
I'm unfixable. And that haunted me for months. Like, is it true?
Am I the problem?
Am I the problem? I'm like, wait a minute, no. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say that I didn't, I was a great, I was a perfect husband or a perfect partner or whatever. I had my faults, but at least I took the time to go and fix them.
Right.
Because everything that I did after my divorce was for me to be a better person. For me first, second, if I ever got into another relationship.
Right.
So if anybody has something to say, I'm like, well, I think I said that already. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's nothing that anybody can say about me that I haven't said about myself.
Right.
And if they do, then I'll be like, okay, then yeah, I remember that. I did do that. So my thing is, I have no
nothing
fear,
to hide.
nothing to hide. I really don't give a shit what anybody thinks anymore. I think people know that now, and people that try to knock me down and it doesn't work no more, they're like, wow.
Yeah.
This thing with my ex sending me a letter for the courts or whatever the hell, was a scare tactic. I'm sure she's sitting back right now thinking, oh shit, I can't manipulate him anymore.
Right.
It's like, no, anybody so yeah.
No, yeah, definitely. You, from what you've told me, you definitely are stronger.
Oh yeah,
I feel yeah. You've grown, and you're kind of over, like you said, you're not healed, but you're continuing to heal.
Yeah, because I honestly, like I told you, I don't know if it was in the last episode, I said I don't think we necessarily heal 100% ever.
Right.
I think we become better people, and we just know how to deal with certain situations now. Because I think if I could go back with what I know now, I would have dealt with that situation a lot better. Yeah. Oh yeah, I would have been more prepared. Yeah. But I wasn't, because I was being manipulated. Yeah. I was being manipulated into signing my own divorce documents.
Wow.
Because the moment I said lawyer, my ex was like, wait, no, you don't need a lawyer. It's going to cost more. It's going to this. Oh, you're right. She saw the house and, half and half. Okay. And then it was like, no, you know what? I think that's going to ruin our daughter's situation. I'm like, oh, my daughter. So she knew how to play me. My daughter is like my everything. My daughter is my world. And she knew what she was doing. And you know what? It's okay. I believe in karma. I believe in,
yes.
Yeah, I believe in karma. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's true. It's unfortunate that people have to learn the hard way, but like you say, you've learned a lot for this current relationship you're in, and definitely being able to share your story has helped a lot of us, especially in the TikTok world out there.
Yeah.
Anybody that has reached out to you on TikTok, has there anything that stood out to you?
Oh God, yeah. I started doing screenshots because I was like amazed that I was actually helping certain individuals. I had people telling after that letter, that video.
Right. Oh, that was awesome. When you wrote that letter. Yeah.
People, please don't stop.
You had me crying. Oh my God. A lot of us crying because it was sincere. Yeah, you can tell.
I was like,
that's what I'm going through. Yeah,
I had people telling me, don't stop. Your videos are helping me. I'm like, how am I helping you? And I just felt like, okay, this has become not like almost like a job.
Yeah.
It's like a part-time job,
Yeah.
I'm talking about what happened to me. I'm talking about what I see. I'm talking about, how, growing up as a Mexican, you're just taught to just, sweep everything under the rug.
Your feelings.
And I couldn't no more. I couldn't. I had to speak, and I was comfortable.
Your truth, yeah.
Yeah, I was comfortable doing it on a video and just walking away from it, and not really, when I started seeing that people were commenting and it was just growing and growing and growing, I'm like, oh shit, what I get myself
What's
into?
happening? Yeah.
And now I embrace it. I love it. I love it. I once in a while I'm out and about, I get recognized. And, or somebody would send me a DM, hey, I just saw you at Portals, or I just saw you at a lot of people saw me at the Dodger game last year. And it was like, why don't you come up and say hi? Like, but I think it's people still get embarrassed or not comfortable telling their stories. I get people that want to come and, they want to, I would love to be in the show one of these days. Right. I mean, yeah, well, we'll get there eventually. Yeah. Right now it's just the beginning stage of it, and then eventually we'll get to that. Yeah. So
I've met a lot of people too, and I'm thankful for people that reached out to me, and it's just an awesome feeling knowing that what I'm going through or have gone through in my story is helping other people. And if along with you bringing me aboard, you know, because this is All Bullshit Aside is your baby, but together, you know, we're definitely bringing awareness. And I've met a lot of people who are currently doing podcasts, and they want to also bring awareness to their certain podcasts too. So it's like a whole community. It's like awesome. It's just
it's funny how you know before all the the relationships we're in, we didn't think that this was a thing. I didn't think this was a thing until people started reaching out and men started reaching out. Oh man, I'm getting divorced. What do I do? It's like first of all, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a therapist. I'm just telling you guys my experiences. But one thing I always tell the men and even the females is seek therapy. If you don't want to talk to your siblings or your parents or people in your in your circle, there's nothing wrong with therapy. And one thing I have heard is a lot of people don't have the privilege to get it free. Like I got it because of my job. But I think there's different outlets out there. There's got to be ways where you can, get it and it doesn't cost anything or some kind of free programs. I don't know. Yeah. But I think if
anybody knows of any, please reach out to us.
Oh yeah, that's true. If anybody knows of anything where it's free.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people that won't do it just because they don't want to spend the money.
Some insurances don't even cover it.
Yeah, my insurance covers it full 100%, which is amazing. I love that.
You would think this time in the world.
This is something that you think, you have all these programs for homeless, for this, for that, but you don't have something for mental health, and it's a big issue.
Yeah, and also, the dating and moving on and trying to be better, it should be supported, not just by medication, but definitely, that helps, but also by speaking, and that's what we're doing. That's what's helping, and I'm excited to be part of this. There's a lot of new different techniques and, things that we bring to the table, but we're also learning. So I'm excited to bring on other people as well and share their story. But so David, anything else about, this fun dating experiences that you had? I'm barely starting to do my dating and stuff. So, as far as online dating.
I mean, look, it's not for everybody.
Give me some advice.
It's not for everybody. It's not, I did it because I was kind of bored and I said, okay, let me see what, this is something new. And I think after my separation, I found myself doing a lot of things that the old me would have looked and frowned upon. Like, what are you doing? Man up. And it's cool. It's fun. I know all these new experiences, all these things that I'm doing on, dating my current, girlfriend, it's all fun. It's amazing. It's just, unfortunately, it took a minute to get there, but now it
took more than a minute.
Yeah,
but
you know what I mean. It's a figure of speech.
You're
but
there. That's
one thing I can tell everybody is like, if you can get therapy, get therapy. The dating apps, I mean, look, at your own risk. That's all I can say.
Yeah, it's true. Definitely. Definitely try to FaceTime the person before meeting them.
Oh yeah, definitely try to FaceTime the person.
And also, like you said, maybe a coffee.
Coffee, yeah. Don't take them to the 5-star restaurant in downtown LA. Yeah, not yet. Maybe, once you're been with them for about 6-7 months. But yeah, it's okay though. You learn, I learned, the hard way, but it's fine.
Right. Anything else that you want to share?
No, I think we're good for today. Just keep following us. You have our Instagram, our TikTok, and if anybody wants to reach out, you can DM me, and you have the email. There's a lot of ways to get a hold of us. If there's anything you guys think we could talk about that hits home, let us know.
Yes, thank you.
All right.